Hello, team. I'm saying hello to the women of Rage Club for Women that I am holding space with Alice Belts and Ellen Appleton, who is the apprentice in the space. Maybe not the only one. We will see. And it came up in the chat today, this distinction between the kind of space that Rage Club is and common modern culture spaces. Rage Club is not school. It is not a place where you'll be tested, where you have to do your homework, you have to do what the teacher says, you have to figure out what the teacher wants and get it right, or you will be made bad, you will be made wrong, you will fail, you will be kicked out. Neither is it a job. This is not a space where you have a job to do, and if you don't do it, you might get fired, you might get told off, you might get put on probation. Rage Club is not a modern culture space. Rage Club is a space where committed human beings gather to experiment and to learn together. And in this case, it's about anger. It's about making a shift from the old map of anger to the new map of anger. And it's a learning space. And what this brings to mind is a distinction that between being an unconscious experimenter and a conscious experimenter. You have been experimenting all your life, whether you thought of it as an experiment or not. An experiment has a beginning, a middle, and an end, and a purpose. And I think of children, babies, learning to walk. They do experiment after experiment after experiment. And by the time they're 10 or 12 or 14, maybe more months old, they can walk. And nobody taught them to walk. Nobody said, you have to learn to walk by next week, or you get fired, or you don't get your dinner. And there may have been parents who did try to manipulate their children into learning to walk faster. This is not space holding. That is parent ego state gremlin, probably. And this is not what Alice nor I are doing here, is holding a space where there's pressure to do it our way. There's something different. There's space. There's space, and there's teamwork, and there's an invitation to experiment and to share your experiments and to share your findings. And as you see, I have my hat and my glasses. I am ready to go out to do some errands. And it may be that these errands could be boring, it could be mundane, it could be just doing some errands. And that would be one experiment that I could do. And for a long time, that was the experiment I would choose, unconsciously choose. Just get it done. As a conscious experimenter and as a Rage Club space holder and participant, I could create experiments to do while I'm doing my errand. So, for example, first position is something that's alive in the space, this distinction of being in first position. I could make this one of my experiments as I go to the post office and to the cafe, on the bus and back, where I decide, because you get to invent your own experiments. And certainly if you want an experiment, ask for one. I want an experiment with this purpose. Who has possibilities for me? And then see what comes. Sometimes the difference between an ordinary and an extraordinary space, maybe every time the difference, is the experiment that you're doing. I look forward to hearing about your experiments, and I look forward to sharing more about mine. Goodbye for now.